This is what we had installed in the last session, Burpsuite Community Edition. Let's run that. So the very first thing is simply follow the instructions mentioned on the left hand side of your screen. I've already shared this PDF, so you can follow along with me. So install Burpsuite, open it, something like this, click on next. Just start Burp. So once you start Burpsuite, it will look something like this. Okay. If you see the interface clearly, there are multiple tabs or multiple things which you can perform using Burpsuite. There is something very interesting, and that is what we are going to use today, is what we call as a proxy. Technically speaking, proxy is something which does some task on your behalf, right? But how? In terms of network or in networking terms, proxy is a web server. We can say in simple words, in layman terms, proxy is nothing but a web server which redirects the communication on your behalf. For example, I go to a website, I go to a browser and I go to some xyz.com. What exactly happens is, you are the client and xyz.com is your server. So you are placing a request through that browser that kindly load the page from xyz.com and show it to me on my browser. But what exactly happens is, a proxy can come in between. A proxy is nothing but an application server which stores a cached copy, you can say a cached copy of that web server, and it will show that web page to you on behalf of that web server. In simple words, I am saying a proxy could be something like a middleman which has the recent copy of that website, and whenever you request for that website, that proxy may give access to that recent copy of the website. It's like a local copy or a cache copy. Proxy can cache a copy of that website and show you the recent copy of that website. I'm just saying in terms of a layman. Over here, what can happen is, a proxy can be utilized by an attacker or a hacker for doing something wrong as well. Wrong as in, the communication is originated from the client, it goes to the proxy forwards that communication to the server will give a reply, that reply is sent to the client but through the proxy. Are you getting it now? So if I am the proxy, I can plant a malicious code inside that proxy server which can keep a track of all the activities and do something called as man in the middle attack. Man in the middle is quite similar to what we have seen so far. An attacker comes into the picture. An attacker will attack the client or the server, that depending on what the intent is. The attacker can attack any one of these parties, any one of these entities, by coming in between the communication and behaving as a trusted entity of that communication. That is what we call as a man in the middle kind of an attack. So over here, using Burpsuite, what we are going to do is, we are going to create a proxy. As you can see, there is something called as intercept. Right now the intercept is off. I can turn it on, but what exactly it will do is, it will capture all the packets that are going through that computer, read all those packets, and then if I am the attacker, I have the option of reading those contents and forwarding those contents to the server. But when I'm forwarding the packets, that is where I can make some changes to that content flowing through that communication. If you are purchasing something from an online shop, for example Amazon.com, you are purchasing a pen, for example. So if I place an order, but before that order reaches Amazon web server, the proxy is coming in between the communication, reading all the contents and making certain changes to that request made by the client. Instead of 500, if I change it and make it 5 rupees, so what will happen? I will get that pen for 5 rupees. Instead of the quantity as 1, I can change the quantity as 5. So instead of getting 1 pen for 500, now I can get 5 pens for 5 rupees. You can just imagine how dangerous it is, right? So that is where Burpsuite can be used. It is just one of the examples where Burpsuite can be used. This was all about the theory behind interception.